Okay, so I want to say something. Being positive is very, very, very important when you're a targeted individual, okay? It's part of who we are naturally as human beings. And it's something that strengthens us. And it's like a reassurance that things are okay and that we should keep going. And I noticed something interesting about the difference between positivity and negativity. It's not so much a good and bad, but an indication of what we should do. I think positivity is telling you, yes, go, keep continuing on your journey. You're doing great. And negativity is more or less saying, hold up, wait a minute, stop. You got to look at this first, and then, you can continue. But we think that negativity is something trying to purposely knock us off our track, which is true as far as these gang stalkers and perpetrators and handlers and whatever else. They're part of this gang stalking world, okay? These abusers, we'll just call them abusers, they bank on the fact that we're going to have a lot of negative hurdles, so to say, or negative situations to deal with. And they create a lot of these negative situations to make you feel more negative. They're banking on these negative feelings, okay? Meaning they hope for it, they want it to happen, they're expecting this to happen, and they're depending on the fact that we're going to have some sort of negativity happen to us. But I just want to explain some things here. Gang stalkers want to get you down because they can only attack you when you're weak. Okay? They can throw you off your track easier, or it's easier for them to throw you off when you're already negative, because you're weak. So when we're weak, I keep repeating this, but it's just important to know this, is that they will do anything they can to try to get you to become weaker. And they really do want to break us down. That is their goal. It's very sick, this so-called program. It's not a program. I mean, to me, I think this is like the devil's work. So, I'm not religious per se, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to get into this, but I'm not religious, but it's demonic, okay? And I know that the power of God is within us all, okay? They do not like that. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So any fears that you feed into, it could also make it easier for them to attack, because it's all part of negativity. Anything you're afraid of, anything you're worried about, any negative thoughts at all, it's going to make it like 10 times, I would say 10 times harder or easier for them to attack you. So, now I just want to explain something about negativity. Negativity, I think I just said this before, but I'm going to say this in a different way. Negativity is there so you can recognize unhealthy patterns in your life that you need to improve. Along with any feeling. Certain feelings come up to show you that something needs to change. So you have certain feelings come up in you. You don't know why you're feeling so negative. It's doing is your body's responding in the proper way that it's supposed to, naturally, okay? we naturally are positive, but when there is something that's going to harm us or our positivity, the negative has to be shown. It has to be seen, actually, by us to continue on our path, so to say. That's what these feelings, like, that's why these feelings happen. It's to show you, hey, you have to improve something. A lot of the time, it's the need to change the way you're thinking or the way of thinking. And this is because everything comes from the mind. So really, if you can start there and attack that, I mean, not attack it, but that's what I say. You can say attack it. Go ahead. Because really, you are jumping on it right away. Okay, you're thinking, how can I nip this in the bud, so to say, so that it doesn't grow into something huge that I can't take care of. This is what healthy people do, healthy-minded people. They have to take care of these things as soon as possible because they know that it can, just keep growing and turn into something worse. And that's very hard to deal with. So knowing that can save you a lot of heartache or a lot of stress and hardship. You may have developed unhealthy habits because you thought it would bring some relief to a negative situation. But really, a lot of the times they're addictions that we have, and I know this is like something separate, but it's also part of this. I just want to kind of relate this as well to what I'm talking about, because negative thoughts can sometimes subconsciously affect us, and we don't realize it, but we're addicted to something because we're in lack of another thing, or we're not thinking correctly, we're not thinking clearly, and we're not assessing everything, we're not putting everything in its place, or something might be so traumatic or so painful to look at that we keep shoving it to the side. Sometimes we do need to do that because we need to recover, we need to, really think through things instead of feeling all these feelings, because sometimes they can be overwhelming. But you have to pay attention. Like I said, it becomes overwhelming because a lot of the times these negative things can grow into something so big and large and horrible that you don't even want to deal with it anymore. And that's where these negative ways of dealing with these things come into play. Now, I understand that this happens. This is a problem in our world, but it's there for a reason. It's telling us we need to change. There's things that need to change, and it's not always ourselves. A lot of the times, because we're targeted, a lot of the times it's a lot of other people around us, and it's not like I'm shifting blame and saying it's all them and they're all out to get me and I'm innocent. It's not that I'm saying I'm completely innocent all the time or that targeted individuals do no wrong, but a lot of the time, it tells you right there in the name, targeted individuals, we're targeted. So right there, right then and there, you can see the negativity is directed at us. It's a very strange phenomenon. And it's like we have to push back. We have to do 10 times. We have to push back 10 times harder, almost. Because it's hard to explain, but the people that aren't targeted as much, a lot of them are complying. Like, if you're not targeted, you're complying and conforming to the system. In whatever system it is. But the system, the main system, if you know what I mean. And the mainstream way of doing things, a lot of people subscribe to that. And it's like they're all looking to the next person, seeing what they're doing, so they know where to be in line. And it's like they're all on this conveyor belt heading towards their slaughter, and they don't realize it. And this is the thing about targeted individuals. We know this. We see this. We try to warn other people. And, but besides that, we try to do better for ourselves, and we keep getting knocked down. Why? Because they see that, they know that we're different. They know that we're not conforming. They know that we have our own mind and our own heart and our own way of being. And they know that they can't control that. So that's why they attack so much and so often, because they have to try to convince us, to make us believe that we really have no power. But really, this is the whole, paradox, or the irony, I guess, of it all, is that we have the power. We're the ones with the power. Yet they're the ones trying to make us think that we don't have any power. Now the power, it's the love in your heart. Believe it or not, it's the love in your heart. And they think that pushing that down and trying to convince you that it's not there, that is going to work. They bank on this, that their whole life, just so you know, they're not strong in any foundation whatsoever. They're living day to day, actually moment by moment, second by second. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know when their whole game is going to end. Because once we realize we have the power, it's done. Like, we won't really have to lift a finger. Just knowing about it, I think is going to do a lot of damage to them. Because you can't hide forever. And the thing is, like I'm saying, they're afraid. They're actually afraid of us. And this is known in the wild, in nature. If an animal is afraid of another animal, they're going to appear to be bigger and stronger and better and more scarier and more frightening to the other actual bigger, scarier animal, so that animal won't attempt to try to attack them. So see, that's what they're doing. Or that because they know that animal's more powerful, they just have this fear of, like, this constant fear that, this one's more powerful than me, so I have to make sure that I appear, more powerful than them, so that they don't touch me. So you see how that works? But we aren't that. That's not our nature. Our nature is not to attack. But see, they have this mindset because they don't have their heart. They've killed that heart center of theirs. They don't have it. They don't have compassion. They don't have love. They don't have care. They don't have, conscientiousness, like thinking about how other people might feel. They don't think like that. They don't feel. I mean, they might feel emotions, but they don't, nothing deep, nothing extremely deep like we do, like real human beings. Because really, I mean, I don't even want to call them human. Because if you don't have your heart, you're not a whole human being. If you're not operating with your heart intact, I don't know what you are. You're not really human to me. So it just gives you a better idea of like what is really going on with this and how we should be more positive. Well, it's not really a should. It's just, it makes more sense, to be positive, to stay on your track. Keep going and do not let them knock you off. But remember, if you do get knocked off, it's only because The negatives there trying to teach you something, saying, hey, look, there's something, we don't know what it is, you got to figure it out, but something's wrong, we're going to give you a hint, you got to figure it out now. That's how I'm looking at it. And it actually makes me more positive, knowing that, okay, well, once I get through this and just see like where I have to change something, then I can go back on my track, so to say, and just keep going, keep rolling with my being and my true self and my soul and where I want to go with my life, what I want to experience, what I want to learn, and what I want to teach. There's so much I want to do. I mean, could go on and on and on. And that's the other thing, to have a lot of aspirations and a lot of goals and a lot of things that you want to do. Who cares if you're not going to get it all done? It's not just about doing, but letting your true self be who you are and express yourself through whatever ways you can. It's just such an amazing thing. And it really liberates you and makes you realize how much your mind really is free and how much power you really do have. It strengthens your power. And again, the power is love. There's other topics I would like to talk about, but I think I'm going to leave those for another time or another video. Thank you.